Brendan Slaughter, Keenan Punkocher here from BeaversEdge.com, coming to you live from the KBVR broadcast booth here as the weather in Reser Stadium has made it quite difficult to shoot outside. We'll go ahead and keep it brief with Oregon State's 55 to 15 loss at the hands of Oregon tonight. Keenan, just what are some of the quick takeaways from the game for you?
Well, again, almost 400 rushing yards on the ground for Oregon. You know, we saw, surprisingly, it was a very surprising halftime story that Herbert, you and I still don't fully know the injury, but, was knocked out of the game and did not come back and play a second snap in that second half. It was Burmeister, the quarterback, taking the reins. And, I think collectively we saw him throw the ball 3 times. He only completed 1 pass. And then other than that, Oregon just ran the ball every play in that second half, and it worked. And then, obviously those mistakes by Jake Luton. The game was pretty much out of reach at that point, but the pick 6 really stings, and then, he throws another pick as well. But really that pick at the end zone by Coletto really, I think, just turned all the momentum to Oregon's way.
Well, you go back to that pick by Coletto, and at the time, Oregon State was still in the contest. If he scores there, it's a completely different ball game. But, I got to give credit where credit's due, and that's to, Mario Cristobal and offensive coordinator Marcus Arroyo, who knew Oregon State was not good against the run. There's no doubt about it. Oregon State, maybe the worst team in the country against the run. We see it again today. The secondary played well. I thought they showed a lot. The linebacking core played a little bit better today, too. But the defensive line, they just can't win the line of scrimmage with the players and lack of bodies that they have right now. And we saw that today as C.J. Verdell and Travis Dye took the ball 55 times for 300-plus. The Ducks as a team finished as 397 on the day. Oregon State's just got to get better interiorly. They have to get better up front. That's, I think, where it all starts. And luckily they've got some transfer help on defense. But, man, it's going to be a slow process.
Yeah, and then, Oregon State, too, just all season long in this game, too, just shooting themselves in the foot because, you think back to that drive with Coletto when he threw that interception, it was set up by a great return by Champ Flemings, multiple receptions by Jake Luton. He comes out of the game, they get down to the 2-yard line, and then obviously the rest is history from there. But turnovers, especially that close to your goal line, is not going to help. And then, like you said, the run defense just wasn't there. Maybe in that second half, okay, you could say improvement could be made, but then it just kind of collapsed in that second half, and you were seeing 12, 13 yards a carry for Oregon, and very reminiscent of what we saw Arizona State and many other teams do.
Well, while Oregon State, obviously has to move on from this tough 2018 season, we can't forget about, kind of the coup d'etats that Jonathan Smith had early in the season when they got 4 big-time transfers that will all be eligible next season in Tyjon Lindsey, Tristan Gebbia, and Avery Roberts, who are already here and enrolled in the Oregon State program. Addison Gums is expected in January. What could those 4 guys, just off the top of your head, bring to the team in addition to a very underrated recruiting class that includes a 4-star in Omar Spates right up the road at Crescent Valley, brother of Jeremy Reichner, they're close, they'll play next year, and a lot of other defensive talent. How could they shake up with those guys stepping into roles next year?
Well, I just think it's fresh blood, it's new guys, it's young guys that are eager, you always call them impressionable. They are impressionable. They're young guys who are adopting the Smith model from day one. These are guys, we talked about how many seniors today who had to go through multiple coaches, different coordinators, different staff members, different team members, down to that. And so these guys they're here hopefully for the long haul. They're looking to set up. They're looking to start something new under Smith. We saw early stages of it this year. Hopefully he'll carry out the vision next year with those guys. And, you said a couple of those local talent, that's only going to help fuel. I think we see guys, on the roster, on the Oregon State roster who are from Oregon. That fuels them even more. And then, of course, the Civil War, both guys from Oregon, both teams with players from Oregon, that just fuels.
Well, the core of next year's players certainly has a little excitement around it, and Jonathan Smith and particularly defensive coordinator Tim Tibesar, they got a lot of work to do between now and when they have Oklahoma State here in Reser Stadium to open up. August 29th is on Friday, national television. They'll have Oklahoma State here in Reser Stadium. Like you mentioned me on air, there's not a team that would be better suited to test a new Oregon State defense than one of the best powerhouse offenses of the Big 12. So it'll be interesting to see what the Cowboys do when they come to Reser Stadium. So in the interim, Oregon State will be looking to get better. They need guys to get healthy. If they do all that, can avoid the injury bug, next year is going to be big because for Oregon State fans that just suffered through a rebuild with Gary Anderson, the first year, Anderson went 2-10, just like Jonathan Smith. Year zeros, it's the second year. And we saw with Coach Anderson, the blowouts happened early in the season. We need to see from Jonathan Smith his team come out and be more competitive in every single game and win games next year, because at a point right now, it's tough for Oregon State fans to keep coming back when you're getting beat this badly in a Civil War. So that'll go ahead and wrap it up for Keenan Punkocher and myself. Thanks for checking out BeaversEdge.com, and make sure to stay tuned to Beavers Edge for all the coverage from tonight's game.